Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, Tyvis Powell, Jason Lloyd. Plus, ba-da-da-da-da, you're loving him, Mikey McNuggets. And so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show starts now. Booyah!
Welcome, everyone, to a Friday edition of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Along with Mikey McNuggets and Tyvis Powell, I'm Adam the Bull. We got a lot to get to today, folks. Anthony and Steve behind the glass. Guys, how are you? We're going to be talking Browns. What's the latest on Deshaun Watson with the final preseason game tomorrow? The Guardians can't hit their way out of a paper bag right now. And is the Cavs' future bright? That's all coming up later today. How you guys doing?
My foot is hurting, Bull.
Why?
See, you don't have to deal with this anymore because Aaron is older now.
Yeah.
My kids leave, like, toys and stuff on the ground. Now, it's a two-way.
By the way, my son may be 11. He still leaves toys on the ground.
No, not like yeah. Little Legos and
yeah, he still plays with Legos.
Okay, well then
they're just different types of Legos.
So yesterday I'm sitting there. Usually I usually keep my shoes on. Or I got my house shoes on in the house. So like if I step on a toy and it breaks, I never feel bad because I'm like, you should have picked it up.
That's right, fair.
Well, yesterday I was barefoot.
Yeah.
I had my sock on, and my wife had took the kids and they went somewhere. I can't remember where they were, but I was in a meeting on the Big Ten meeting, so I'm like walking around on my phone, not paying attention. I stepped on this toy. My foot, first of all, I almost hit the ground. Like, that's how bad it was. Like, I stepped on it and stumbled and almost hit the ground. Caught
Did you
myself.
Scream while you were on the phone?
No, I didn't. I had to, like, really, one of them. And my foot has been hurting since. Like, it's like the ball of my foot. Yes. Oh, my goodness.
It feels like you get stabbed depending on what kind of toy it is.
Yeah, but it was like, and it was like a pot, like a cooking pot or something like that. But it got like little edges on it. I stepped, oh my goodness, my foot is in so much pain.
That can be painful.
So yeah.
So you're all, when that happens, you're still pissed at your kids.
I couldn't even rip my kids because they wasn't there. Like there was nobody there for me to I just yelled at myself.
Oh my God! When I do that, I'm like, Aaron.
Well, I'm glad you showed up, Tyvis, because you're obviously you're performing through injury today.
Yeah. I'm on the
10-day
list. I'm
admirable
questionable.
By the way, before we get to the possibility of Deshaun Watson performing through injury, real quick, it reminded me of this because Anthony's hair has gotten very.
I need a haircut.
Like you're overdue for a haircut, right?
I like it.
Well, that's fine, but he's got a lot of hair on top,
Yeah.
and that. We've talked about this before. The style from teenager boys today, at least where I live, is
it's a comb over.
They got just a mop on their head, right? Like this seems to be a big thing from the kids. So the other day I was walking out of the supermarket, and there were the girls who are the cashiers at the supermarket I go to. They're probably somewhere between 16 and 20. They're teenage girls. And there was like three of them there, and I had just seen another kid with like a mop head. And I said, girls, let me ask you a question. Do all the boys you know have the mop haircut? And they start laughing, right? And they're like, yes. I'm like, do you guys like that? I'm trying to get the analysis from these teenage girls. I'm like, can you explain to me, do you girls find that attractive? Is that why they're doing it? And then they got into the conversation. One girl was like, I think they're trying to be cool and blah, 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 blah. But the bottom line was these three girls thought it looked stupid. So if all the girls think it looks stupid, why are the boys doing it? Now, Anthony's hair is not that.
They just don't care.
Yours is not bad.
That's the thing. Are these boys like football players? Because like for me.
It's all the kids.
For me, like when football season came, I could care less.
What your hair looked like.
Yeah, I didn't care. Like it was.
You had a helmet on.
Exactly.
I don't know. I can't. Come to think of it, all the kids that play baseball for me, none of them have hair that's too crazy. So maybe it's starting to change that style. I feel like they were doing it, and maybe
I thought
now
it
it's
was
not.
a mullet
Or maybe
thing.
it's the older boys. I mean, I'm coaching kids that are 13 or younger, so maybe it's just the high school kids. I don't know, but
well, Anthony just hadn't got around to it. Are you busy?
Anthony is at least, it looks styled, like he's taking
I
care
tried
of
to
his
comb
hair.
it and stuff. I usually keep it short on the sides, like
Yeah.
Mike has it, and then a little bit longer on the top.
You look like you did a nice little comb over there.
I need a haircut. I'm getting one next week.
You can tell school's back in because I did see 3 kids standing waiting for the bus that all had the Patrick Mahomes haircut.
Oh, yeah.
They're
That is
super curly on the
popular.
top.
though.
Yeah,
like the
I've
fro
seen
hog?
that more than I've seen just the mop.
The mop.
around
It's like
town.
the fro hog.
Maybe they're
It's
trying to
just
do
a
Patrick
little-
Mahomes, these kids.
But they don't
Maybe
have
that's
the,
what
they don't
they're
have the
trying to
natural
do.
curly hair to get
Yeah,
it.
I guess so. I don't know. But listen, I'm no Mr. Style. I haven't even used a comb, and I don't even know the last time. I just, get my hair cut really short with a
Same.
buzz cut, and there we go.
Same.
There you go. All right, enough talk about haircuts. Let's go to Deshaun Watson. I was trying to think of a good pun for haircuts and Deshaun Watson, but nothing was coming to me, so we'll just keep
Yeah,
it
no.
moving.
He's not getting cut.
No, there you go. It's a
He's not getting
good
that.
pun. He's definitely not getting
as
cut.
close as you can get.
The question is, will he be on the field tomorrow when the Browns play in the middle of the night against the Seahawks? But first, let's see what Anthony has to say.
Yeah, before we get into who's going to play tomorrow night, guys, you've heard us talk about FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Well, we have a little something different from you. Now, through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then, with a YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. Just visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to download America's #1 sportsbook.
So we have the happy and angry faces here, and in a couple of minutes, Anthony's gonna give us a list of guys, and we're gonna tell you whether we think they not whether they will, whether we think they should play or should not play in this game. Before we do that, what's the guess right now? With 35 hours to go before the game starts, what's your best guess as to whether or not Deshaun Watson plays tomorrow?
I don't think he will.
Not wanting to. No, like, do you think he's going to play? I guess that's a yes.
I do not think he will play. No.
Oh, why not?
Just seems to
Do
be.
you believe he's injured?
No, I think the offensive line concerns are valid.
No, they're not.
I said I think they are, and I clearly think Kevin.
Well, don't they have to be prepared to go into week one with a valid offensive line issue?
You asked my opinion. I'm
Okay.
telling you my opinion. I
right,
think
let's go.
the offensive line concerns are valid. I think Kevin Stefanski initially said we expect Deshaun to play. Deshaun said I hadn't heard about that. He's backtracked. I just think all the steps we've gotten over the last, I guess, week now or so have been from Deshaun definitely playing trending towards Deshaun not playing. Mary Kay wrote a whole article saying in her column, it wasn't an article, it was a column, that she doesn't think he should play. So I'm just kind of following the wind here, and it seems, and I think he's not going to play, but I believe he should, which we'll get to in a second.
You think he should, but he
I don't
won't.
think he
Mary
will,
Kay
correct.
doesn't think he will and doesn't think he should.
Correct.
What was her main? Was it the left tackle the main reason why, or no?
Tackle and just you need him more. He's obviously more important. He's fully healthy for week 1 than it is for this preseason.
If he's not fully healthy today, is he going to be fully healthy in 2 weeks? I find that hard to believe. But go ahead, Thomas. You think he will and should play?
Correct.
Okay.
I think that you got to get some game reps. I think that nobody's asking you to go out there and, like I said, have this big prime time game. Like, that's not the case. I just need you to go through your motions and stuff like that. I don't think, if knowing that you have left tackle issues, if you really are that concerned about it, make sure you put David Njoku to that side so you can buy some time. The route shouldn't be no more than 10 yards anyways. It should be all fairly quick, 3-step, 5-step drops at the most. He's getting the ball out, going through reads. I just don't want him to wait till Dallas to do that against another team. So I think he goes out there for one quarter, gets his rhythm, and boom, show everybody that the shoulder's fine so we can put that at ease and show everybody that it was just clickbait. It was a slow week for the Browns, so they put these crazy things out there to get the media talking about stuff, and I think they nip it all in the bud by him going out there tomorrow and
If
playing.
that's the case, the Browns created the clickbait.
Correct.
I agree with Tyvis. I think he should play on that part. Now, will he play? I don't know if I agree with you there. I'm maybe.
I say he should play too.
We all agree that he should play. By the way, I am not listening to any excuses for Deshaun Watson this year. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear about rust. I don't want to hear about injury. I don't want to hear about offensive line. I'm done. He's got to perform this year. He's got to play like the superstar he's being paid to be. That's it. End of conversation. I'm not saying he's got to be perfect for 17 games, but overall for the season, he's got to play like a superstar. Nothing less is acceptable.
Yeah.
Nothing less is acceptable to me. You're a jerk. You're a hater. Blah blah blah. Yesterday, I was accused of being a shill for Deshaun Watson when the Browns traded for him. That I was a shill for him. I don't know how I'm a shill for him. I mean, there's plenty of shills for Deshaun Watson around. I'm not one of them. But anyway, no excuses. I think he should play. I'm not sure that he will. I think it's bizarre that there's been confusion between Deshaun Watson and Kevin Stefanski multiple times over the past couple of years.
Clickbait, tell you.
But hopefully Tyvus is right that it's all clickbait.
Who
else should or will play? No, we're not doing will play. Should play. Should play. Anthony's going to give us names. We're going to say yes or no whether these guys should play for the Browns this week, tomorrow.
Yeah, guys. So we already covered Watson here.
Yeah.
So Jameis Winston is going to be our next name that we're going to cover here.
Should he play? Yeah, why not? I mean,
You want the happy face.
a happy,
should,
there you
yeah.
go.
I do think it is funny if the Browns are so concerned about this left tackle position as a reason to hold out Deshaun. Jameis Winston's the backup, obviously DTR Huntley. But if they're like so deadly terrified that that's going to be catastrophe for Deshaun, they're just going to roll out Jameis for a half and say, "Hey, Jameis, go take all the live bullets yourself."
Right. Yeah.
So I think Jameis should play.
So you think Deshaun should play, but Jameis should not?
Correct.
How come?
Because I think that we need to see Deshaun. We've seen Jameis Winston out there already.
Right.
And this
for one series, Ty.
Like
it's literally one series.
he asked me the question.
we haven't seen him.
When you talk,
We haven't seen him. We played
when
one
you explain
series.
something, do I cut you off?
Sometimes.
Yeah, Mike, you're a big ton of offer over there.
Thank you. Maybe you can. Can I? Maybe
Call
after
Ken
I get done talking, maybe you know.
All right, go.
All right.
Go.
Anyways.
Go ahead.
Anyways, I feel like we seen Jameis Winston out there, and he had a lot of good players out there with him. I think that this preseason, you're still trying to make a decision on what you're going to do with the third quarterback. So I think you need to get those reps to the last two starters or the last two, Huntley and DTR, so you could make that decision whether you're going to trade them or not, or if you're going to cut one and keep the other one. So I want to see them one last time, and I think that they kind of earned that.
So you're going to play Watson. If it were you, you'd play him, one series?
I'd play him a quarter.
You play him the first quarter, and then you'd split quarters 2 through 4 between Huntley and DTR.
Yep.
Okay.
Real quick, we saw Winston for one series, though. In all seriousness, he played one series in the first game against Green Bay, and then we haven't seen him since.
But in fairness to Tyvus, I mean, we know who Jameis Winston is.
I'm about to say.
We know what he's going to do.
I don't think we need to see him, but just
Yeah.
it's not like he's played 2 snaps or 2 passes.
He hasn't played much, but he's a veteran.
Didn't he take them down there and they got a field goal out of it, or did they score? He probably got a field goal.
No, he made a good pass and it got called back for holding or whatever.
I'm actually changing my pick. I'm with Tyvus. He doesn't need to play. I don't care. I mean, if he plays, it's fine, but he doesn't need to.
I don't need to see him.
Yeah. All right. Next.
All right. Next up, Amari Cooper.
No, I'm not
Nope.
playing him. Ooh.
Well,
Deshaun's out there, so he's going out there. So
my caveat is if Deshaun plays.
Deshaun's out there, he's out
Very
there.
persuasive today, Tyvus.
If Deshaun plays, it's a lot. Because I actually put this for a lot
That's
of
a good
answers.
point.
If Deshaun plays, when we get to the offensive line, same thing.
Yeah.
If Deshaun's in, then a lot of these guys have to play.
Yeah,
If Deshaun's out, then no Amari Cooper. There's
If
no
Deshaun, it's fair. If Deshaun's playing, I'd play everybody but Nick Chubb.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So for the sake of all these, then, do we want to go with Deshaun's not playing, whether they should play outside of Deshaun? Because for all these
Well, I
answers,
wouldn't play.
it's-
I would not. If Deshaun does not play, then I wouldn't play Amari Cooper.
If Deshaun doesn't play, then I wouldn't play Amari.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Yes.
So this is
All right.
we're all in agreement. If Deshaun plays, all
Then
these
everybody
guys
should
play.
Yeah.
If Deshaun's out, then we have individual
Okay,
discussions
fine,
about these.
yes.
Okay.
All right, so I know we're all on the same page that Chubb's not playing tonight. So Jerry Judy, should he play?
I'd play him either way. Guys.
Yeah, I'm about to
I would
say.
too.
He
I would
got
too.
he got to go out there because he hasn't played in the preseason, right?
Nope.
Yeah, no.
And he's not Amari Cooper.
no,
he's not established.
No, yeah, I need to see him.
Yeah.
The fans need to see him.
He's actually
go.
a guy. If he plays, that might be the guy I'm most interested in, outside of Deshaun, in seeing play against Seattle in any capacity. Seattle's starters are playing. Mike McDonald said
Right.
all their guys are playing. You mentioned it earlier in the week. Tariq Woolen, Devin Witherspoon, like their secondary has some ballers.
Yeah.
And it's preseason. I'm not going to look too much into it. It's going to be a simple game plan. I totally get that. But seeing Jerry Jeudy take some actual snaps and reps against, I don't want to say top-tier cornerbacks, but
I wouldn't necessarily just dismiss it because even though the routes are simple, I still want to see you win simple.
Yeah.
Right. Is he getting open?
Yeah, can you create? Are you creating separation? That's what I want to know. Are you winning your routes?
Yeah.
Like if you are, good. If they didn't throw you the ball, that's fine. But I just want to see you creating some space and be open.
In fact, if everything's really simple, it's even more impressive if he's able to get open.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's actually, like I said, the guy I'm most interested to see play if he's out there, minus Deshaun.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, go ahead, Anthony.
All right, next up, David Njoku.
He's another one I would only play if Deshaun is playing.
Same.
Because I feel like we know. I feel like I know what David Njoku is now. I feel like, but I need to see him more with Deshaun because he played his best with Flacco.
I agree with that.
But would you want him to play if
I'm torn?
Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence on it too. But in the end,
can see it either way.
I would not play him. I'm out.
And Deshaun is not playing.
Deshaun's not playing.
So I'm out.
Is Jameis playing?
Yeah.
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 I don't know.
Oh my!
Would you play him with Jameis and then when you switch
I would. I think I would.
Out?
Yeah, I think I would.
I definitely wouldn't play him.
I'm not a fan of people just
sitting for no reason.
Yeah, because it's like, think about it. His last game was January.
Yeah.
Like that means, so if you don't play tomorrow, you ain't played a game since January.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
That's true.
You know better than all of us.
So that's why I'm like, for a lot of these guys, it's like, I don't care if it's a snap. Like, I just want you to go out there and go through it one time. I don't want Dallas to be the first time for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So that's why, to me, I'm more, I'm think
changing my answer.
All right.
I'm actually changing my answer.
Tyvis is very convincing today.
Yeah, and
his
I think
NFL experience is playing a big role in this right now.
And to his point, Dallas is obviously going to be different atmosphere, more stakes, it counts, all that, and that's obvious. But even for a guy like Njoku, I think we know at this point of his career who he is. He's a very good top 10 level tight end, coming off the best season of his career. Just getting those couple reps, Ty. Can you speak on real quick just the importance, even if it's 5-6 plays?
Yeah, it's
just what does that do for a guy before that actual first week where it all really counts?
Because although people have played in the games for many years, that first time you out on that field, your adrenaline is still, like, your heart is like this. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm still ready to go. And you'll lose wind a lot real quick. Like, your energy is gone in, like, the first 5 plays because you can't settle down if that's your first time being out on the field. So I'd rather them do that now, get that game day feeling again, because David Njoku's been a guy who they've been talking about all camp since he's been with Vrabel. He like that guy.
Yeah.
So at least go out there and establish yourself, get that, so you be like, all right, the stuff that I'm doing in practice is actually working. So, like, when I get to Dallas, it's like, it's not going to be shocking, like, oh, my goodness, it worked, or oh, my goodness, it didn't work. Like, you need to get that answer now so you can have a plan for Dallas. And like I said, I want you to settle your mind and your body in the game. Like, I don't want that Dallas game to be your adrenaline's pumping, so now you tired and you only good for a couple plays because you can't settle down. Like, that stuff matters. So that's why I'd rather them do it now, get their feet wet now, and then when the Dallas game comes, they've already experienced going through game day. They already warmed up, because a lot of people exert their energy in warm-ups because they so hyped up for the game because it's their first time being back out there. So it's like, for me, it's just about calming the mind so you could be ready for Dallas.
Next.
All right. Joel Bitonio and Wyatt Teller.
For this exercise, Deshaun is not playing, correct?
Yeah,
so I don't need him. Yeah, I don't
He's
need
an obvious yes with Deshaun and no. Both of them.
I don't
yes
need
with Deshaun,
him.
no without Deshaun. Yeah.
100%.
And plus, he hasn't played in the preseason, correct?
Teller has, Bitonio has.
Okay, I don't need to see him.
Bitonio's like to the point.
Yeah, I don't need to see him.
He don't need to practice. He don't need to. We'll see when it matters.
All right. Next up, DeJuan Jones.
Yes, he needs to play.
No matter who's at quarterback, I'm playing DeJuan.
Me too.
How long are you playing him for?
I play him for the whole first half.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad, actually. Yeah, probably.
Significant snaps, yeah.
Probably. Because DeJuan is a different story because this is only year 2 for him. Yeah. So it's not like he's got a ton. And then he got injured last year. So it's not like he got a ton of experience. So So, yeah, he's still a work in progress. It's not like he's arrived. So, yeah,
Right.
any reps that you could get him, put him out
And
there.
he wasn't the starter going into last season.
No, he wasn't.
So it's like he wasn't preparing that way. This is his first time preparing to be a starter in training camp in the preseason.
And remember, if they don't play now,
Yeah.
he played week 1. He didn't play week 2. So, if he don't play now, he will have sat for 1, 2, 3,
About a month.
About a month.
Yeah.
And DeJuan, as good as he was as a rookie last year, still a developmental player. Like
Yeah.
he's still going through the process
100%,
of
yeah.
learning the ins and outs of the position at the NFL level, learning how to prepare like
Yeah.
a starter. Whether
Yeah,
it's
I think it's a
whether it's
no-brainer.
a half, a quarter and change, whatever.
Something. It has to be
Yeah.
something.
He needs some real reps. Yeah.
And they got their ones out there. He needs
Yeah.
that.
Next.
All right, next up, Myles Garrett.
No chance.
Nope. Nope.
Yeah, he's not going out.
Nope.
He's not going out there.
Miles Garrett
matter
and Nick
what.
Chubb are two guys that don't play. And Denzel Ward, obviously. But,
Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah.
Miles
All right,
Garrett's
next.
going out there.
Zadarius Smith.
No.
No, he's old.
I don't need veteran, old-ass defensive linemen playing in the preseason.
Especially when I think you got young guys like the Alex Wright. You need
Yeah.
to work on the rotational pieces. You
I
need
think
to-
we
you need to
agree.
get them
On the
more.
defensive line, all the veterans sit, all the young guys, even if their starters play.
Yeah, Mike Hall is the only
Yeah.
potential starter that
Right.
should be out there.
Yeah, we'll get into like who we think needs to show out tonight
Yeah.
in the next segment. But JOK, do you think he needs to be out there tonight? Tomorrow.
Needs to? No. Would I like to see him out there for a little bit?
I'd put him
yeah,
out there.
I'd put him out there for a little bit. Another guy
Gordon,
who coming
Pat?
off a terrific season, and
He
you know, and
wants,
this team, I think he's gonna want to play.
He also, that's another one. Like, he ain't played since January.
No.
Yes,
And
he had a
he's
great
young.
season
Yeah.
last year, but you got to at least get him ready for the season. So you got to give him some type of game reps. Yeah, he got to be out there. He needs to be out there.
All right, next up, guys, Jordan Hicks.
No.
He like 32, ain't he?
He's an old-ass.
Yeah, no, he ain't
I
going
don't
out
think
there.
he's played in the.
You know what? That's a lie.
Whoa!
Yeah, he going out there. He might be a series though, but I'm putting him out there.
Yeah, I'm
this is his
actually-
first year with this defense.
Yep.
Like, I need him to make some calls. I need everybody to be on the
Right.
same thing. I need people to realize his game voice. I need you to be able to hear it.
Is he gonna wear the green dot?
Probably, I would think so.
would guess, right?
Yeah. Who else
I was
would?
about to say Tyvus has not talked me into this one for the first time. But again, you have! The Tyvus effect.
I agree. Yeah. New
Like,
system.
I didn't think about the green dot.
It's the
That's
communication
important.
more than anything else. And in Seattle, and Tyvus can speak
It's
to that
loud.
more.
Yeah,
even in a
I mean,
preseason game.
yes.
Those mental reps matter. And even if it's a series, 2 series, whatever, against the starters for Seattle, I'd play him for a little bit. Not
Yeah,
extended
it would.
time,
Yeah,
but
it'd be like maybe one or two
series,
series.
yeah,
One or
yeah.
two series.
whatever JOK plays,
Yeah,
I'd
I'd have
play
two of
Hicks
them out there
together.
for one
Exactly.
series. See ya.
Yeah.
Tyvus, you work well as a contrarian. All right, next up, MJ Emerson and Greg Newsome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
because the Denzel thing kind of makes them gotta play.
Yeah. Well, especially Greg Newsome.
Because
he's
he's gonna be
prepared
out
to play outside.
Yeah.
Is Newsome healthy?
is he
Newsome
healthy?
healthy enough to even play in
Yeah,
this
it's a
game?
good question. I don't know.
I don't know the answer to
If
that.
he's healthy, yes, because he ain't did nothing. So
Yeah.
at least get him a series or two.
I'm not sure because when he hurt his hamstring before camp started, Stefanski said he's hopeful he'd be back for week 1. I'm 100% confident he'll be back for week 1. So I'm going to guess that he's actually probably not fully healthy enough to go against Seattle. But with Ward potentially being out and being one hit away from being out again,
Yeah.
assuming Newsome was healthy,
Yeah.
and I don't think he is, but assuming he was, I'd like to see him get a couple outside reps against
Yeah.
Jackson Smith and Jigba and
Man.
DK Metcalf and a Tyler Lockett.
If Denzel Ward and Greg Newsome missed the first game, with Dak Prescott throwing the ball,
Tough matchup.
that's a problem.
Our offense better light it up. All right, next up, guys, Juan Thornhill.
I'm a yes. Tyvus is a yes. Make it 3 for 3 bowl.
I'm in. He didn't play well enough last year.
Think
He's not an old veteran. He's a young veteran.
Yeah, what is he, like 28? Yeah, I mean,
Even that young?
I don't think
old?
he's that old.
he 20, like 26?
I think so.
I think he's
I feel like
younger
he was
than.
Hold on,
25 when the
wait.
Browns signed him.
You come out of college.
Yeah, he played 4 years at Kansas City.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
might be like 27.
He's 28.
Oh, he is 28. You were right in the first place,
Good
Tyvus.
call.
All right, play him for a little bit.
Yeah,
I
I think he wants to play because he he missed so much
Yeah.
time, and he was in and out of the lineup, and he kept dealing with injuries. I think he wants to go out there. And
Yeah.
like I say, for a lot of people, they just want to get ready for Dallas. Like, it's not even about Seattle. It's about getting myself ready for Dallas. And I think for him, because he was in and out of the lineup, he wants to have that feeling. You don't want to go through I'm telling you, you do not want to go through a whole preseason, unless you Miles or Joe Vittori or somebody like that. You do not want to miss a whole preseason and think you just going to click it right game one. It's just going to go like this and everything going to go smooth. That's just not going to be the case.
And with some of these guys, and Thornhill's like a perfect example of it, you can't go in being terrified of him getting hurt in a situation where he's playing 6 snaps. Like, you can't have that mindset and be a successful football player. Dives, you could attest to that. Injuries happen in sports. You obviously want all these guys to stay healthy. Miles should not play, should not see the field whatsoever. Nick Chubb, it's not worth it. If a guy is banged up and could be hurt more for the regular season, it's not worth it. But a guy who's healthy like Thornhill, who's gone through all of camp, I don't think you could be like, hey, let's hold him out and just let him get through those first reps against Dallas because we're so terrified of him getting hurt in the 10 snaps he may play. I just don't buy into that mindset of philosophy. So
Agreed.
Him and I think Delpit's the next one, right? And
Yeah, Delpit's
I'm
our
playing
next one.
Delpit too. Same
Delpit
situation.
missed a lot of time.
Yep.
last
Same
year.
I was
exact thing
definitely
with
playing
Delpit.
Yeah.
If those two are out there, Thornhill and Delpit, as long as Hicks and JRK are on, like those guys are all one unit. Like let them
when
play.
they come out, they all come out
together.
Is that it?
It's not on the list, but I am curious. Do you guys think Elijah Moore should play a lot tonight?
I played him the whole game.
whole game?
Yeah, probably.
You keep saying tonight. It's tomorrow.
I do keep saying tonight.
Don't
I'm just thinking it's
people
Saturday.
watching don't think the game is tonight. You'll be
No.
sorely disappointed if you stay up till 10 p.m.
All right.
watching ABC.
Well, there we go. Anthony, what do you got for us?
I got a quick read for game time today here, guys. If you want to go to the preseason game, if you're out there in Seattle, there's no better place to go get your tickets than Game Time. You can save up to 60% off by buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, and theater. They're all in pricing. You toggle this on, and then you just get no surprise fees at checkout. Gives you the exact price right up front. You can get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy it. Game Time will give you 110% of your credit if you find a lower price ticket. So all you have to do is download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply, but again, just create your account and redeem code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed.
Guys, we don't want to waste time talking about, some of the back end guys that are fighting for spots that are like not names. But who are some players that we know, like names that we've talked about, that could possibly not make this roster, if you think there are any? Could be a surprise cut that you think maybe needs to do something in this final preseason game.
I keep thinking, for some odd reason, I keep going back to the secondary because of the Denzel thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that last year the Browns carry 5 safeties, and that's very unlikely. Usually, people do 4 safeties, 6 corners. I think they did 5 and 5 last year.
Yep.
So you got to get a number of 10. With the Denzel thing happening, with the G-New thing happening, I'm scared for one of them safeties. Now, I know Ronnie Hickman got hit up in the first game, and then he's been out with injury. And I think D'Anthony Bell has not played in the preseason. And I don't know if Rodney McLeod has played, but I don't think they would cut him because this is his last go-around. I don't think they would cut him. So the two that I'm looking at is Hickman and D'Anthony Bell.
You think one of them is going to get cut?
Because think about it. If Denzel is hurt, and Newsome, even with Denzel, you got to keep another corner. So to me, you got those 3. You got Khalif Halassi, who they really like. Who's Cam Mitchell, that's 5. And then maybe the Miles Harden,
who's been awesome,
who's been good. So that's 6.
Right.
So if you telling me you can go with just 5, so say you don't keep 6, you keep 5 and 5. So if Denzel goes down,
5 with 2 guys banged
that's
up,
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you got to make up somewhere in that with that room, and I think it could potentially be a safety.
I mean, I guess for a week or two they could consider keeping 11 DBs and have 1 less linebacker, maybe.
That's a possibility too.
They play 2 linebackers a lot, so
that's a possibility.
You could. A lot of times teams have 6 linebackers. I guess they could go with 5.
I think they kept 5 last year.
Oh, could you go with 4 linebackers?
Well, you'd have Hicks, JOK, Devin Bush, Diabate, and Tony Fields are the 5 you would expect
Yeah.
right now if you were making the early roster.
And the scariest part about
Yeah.
the corner room is, has anybody really stuck out to you in a game?
No.
So even if it might not even be that they keep them. They might, once people get cut, they might look on the waiver wire and look for somebody. So that, to me, that secondary thing, it scares me.
All reports out of camp, though, indicate that Miles Harden, the 7th-round draft pick from this season, has turned heads.
Yeah.
Like the guy that they didn't necessarily expect. Obviously, they liked him enough to draft him, but not a guy they thought would come in and compete with some of the names Tyvis just mentioned for a legitimate roster spot. And he certainly put himself in contention to be a conversation piece when the Browns have to go down and cut from their 90-man to their 53-man roster. Few other spots I think it's worth watching tonight. Siaki Ika, and whether or not he can do anything from the interior of the defensive line. Just like the cornerback room, to Tyvis's point, that defensive line room is loaded right now. And if Ika, who was their second pick in last year's draft, is going to have any chance of finding his way onto their Week 1 53-man roster, he's going to have to play significantly better against Seattle than he's shown on tape against Green Bay.
I don't think he's going to make
Minnesota.
the roster. Do you think Ika's going to make it?
Not a chance.
No, we talked about it earlier in the week. I don't think he is. And the other position I'm really looking forward to watching tonight is that last wide receiver spot bowl.
Yeah.
Michael Woods and David Bell are in a competition right now for that last spot.
Well, I think there's some interesting decisions at wide receiver and at running back if Nick Chubb is on the active roster in Week 1. What's the matter?
Mike can't
I said
remember
it tonight.
tomorrow.
Now you got it.
Now
in my
you
head.
said
I am
tonight.
so sorry.
Tomorrow.
So let me bring up, Zach Jackson, who obviously covers the Browns for The Athletic, he did his 53-man roster projection. He put it out earlier this week. So let's go through this quickly, see what he did. Remember, cut down day is Tuesday. It's right around the corner.
Yep.
These rosters are going from 90 to 53. It used to be,
75.
remember, you'd have the 75 and then 53.
Yep.
Obviously,
That's it. Once I made it to 75, I was like, woo, I'm halfway there.
Yeah, right.
Halfway there.
all right, so some of the positions we'll go through quickly. Some we'll spend a little more time on. Quarterback, he's predicting Deshaun, Jameis, and DTR, and he thinks Tyler Huntley's gone. All right, running back. Zach says, best guess, Jerome Ford, Pierre Strong, and Deonta Foreman. I believe Nyheim Hines will make the active roster if he's healthy, but for now he remains on the non-football injury list. My early guess is Nick Chubb starts the season on the PUP list, which means he wouldn't be part of the initial 53 and would miss at least 4 games.
And that's noteworthy because if he's not on the active roster, that gives another spot for a receiver or a cornerback, like Tyvis mentioned.
Well, he thinks they're going to keep 4 running backs because he thinks Nyheim Hines, Ford, Foreman, and Strong. You usually don't keep more than 4 running backs. It's just the more interesting thing is when Chubb comes back, if everybody's healthy,
who's gone?
Do they get rid of Pierre Strong or do they get rid of Nyheim Hines?
Well, Strong got hurt yesterday, so we'll see what.
Right, that's true.
But he's an asset on special teams.
He has been. Last year he was hurt,
yeah.
so I don't know. All right, wide receiver. How many will make the roster? Zach says probably 5. Not 6. Teams a lot of times keep 6. Some teams even keep 7.
Yeah.
5 is on the lower end. His best guess, he says, Amari Cooper, Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, Elijah Moore, and a player not currently on the roster.
So he doesn't
is
have
Zach's projection.
He doesn't have Jamari Thrash on there either.
He does. He said it's likely David Bell versus Michael Woods for the last spot, barring an injury or trade. But Bell is dealing with a quad injury that will sideline him for the rest of the preseason. I'm guessing rookie Jamari Thrash will start on the practice squad. Thrash was what, a 5th-round pick?
Yeah.
As he what has he shown you in these first couple games?
I mean, he's been good, but it's not like something that's like, oh my goodness, we gotta have that guy.
I mean, they could keep him on the practice
Yeah,
squad.
I
I'm not
think-
sure
yeah.
somebody's claiming him.
I
on
agree.
a 53.
I agree.
He also said players such as Matt Landers, Jaleon Darden, also practice squad candidates. Darden and James Prochet in the mix for return jobs. But that's interesting that he thinks it doesn't mean he's going to be right. He's just projecting, but he thinks it's a player not currently on the roster that gets the 5th spot over David Bell and Michael Woods. I mean, David Bell and Michael Woods, neither. I don't care if either of those guys are on the team. Do you?
I would like to hope Bell still has a chance to be a competent receiver, but
I don't think he does.
my level of confidence is waning quickly by the day.
Do you think he has a chance to be a competent receiver?
I think he's a good possession receiver.
Okay.
I think he's a guy that comes in every now and again and can make a catch in traffic. About it though.
Right.
He's just a guy, though. Just a guy.
He has Njoku, Jordan Akins, and Giovanni Ricci as the tight end.
They just
Well,
cut
they
him.
cut Ricci.
Who's like a full. Oh, they did cut him.
Because he
hurt
settlement.
IR, yeah.
Oh, that's right. He got hurt. That's right. I forgot about that. Okay.
So that could be.
So
another
they may
spot.
pick they may only keep 2 tight ends, even though but Stefanski loves using those tight ends.
Me too.
Do they pick up? I mean, if it's a third tight end, they don't have anybody else of note here. It would probably be somebody from outside.
Why would they need a third tight end? Do you think? Because
I mean,
Stefanski just likes tight ends.
Fullback Nick Harris is back. So,
Well, I mean, he's an offensive lineman.
but they put him at fullback.
You're right, but he's always had at least 3 tight ends on the roster. Always. Doesn't mean he will. All right. Let's see. Offensive line, he says somewhere between 8 and 10, depending on whether Jack Conklin starts on the active roster. He's projecting Jedrick Wills is ready to go week 1. Batonio, Pocic, Teller, DeJuan Jones, Zach Zinter, Nick Harris, James Hudson, and Michael Dunn. Said it might come down to Hudson versus Jermaine Ifedi for the final tackle spot.
Real quick on that, we talk about players to watch in tomorrow's game. Ifedi is starting at left tackle.
Right.
He has
he
not
may be playing for his job.
He has not played a ton of left tackle in his career. Going up against the ones in Seattle, he played in Seattle.
Drafted him first.
That
round
is,
pick.
yeah. I mean that essentially is an audition for your job right there. It's him versus Hudson for that last swing tackle spot. If Ifedi plays well on Saturday against Seattle, Hudson had not played well in camp at that position.
Right.
Come on,
Could go a
Fetty.
long way
Yeah.
towards swaying the Browns' decision.
That's true.
Come on, Fetty.
I believe. Oh, you played with him in Seattle, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't he a first-round pick?
Yes, he was.
A&M good.
Come on, Fetty. I'm rooting for you. Please do good. Just do good.
On the defensive side, Zach's projecting 10 defensive linemen: Myles Garrett, Zadarius Smith, Dalvin Tomlinson, Ogbo Okoronkwo, Shelby Harris, Quentin Jefferson, Alex Wright, Mike Hall Jr., Maurice Hurst, and Isaiah McGuire. So Siaki Ika wouldn't make the cut. Jawan Briggs wouldn't make the cut.
That's 5 of each, by the way. Defensive
Yeah.
ends,
Them practice
defensive
squads.
tackles.
Yeah.
They'll both. I personally think both of them will come back on practice squad.
Yeah, I mean, who's breaking down the door to sign either of those guys?
Somebody argued. Was it Jason that argued with me about that?
Jason said he wouldn't be shocked if some team took a flyer on Ika
Yeah.
if he got cut and tried to slip back on practice squad.
I don't know about that.
And I said if I was Ika, I would want a team to take a flyer.
Yeah, that's true. 5 linebackers. He's projecting Jordan Hicks, JOK, Tony Fields, Devin Bush, and Nathaniel Watson. Not Mohamed Diabate.
Interesting.
Defensive back.
Here we go.
Said from 10 to 12, depending on health and special teams. Cornerback Greg Newsom's recovering from a hamstring surgery, and though it's a positive sign for Newsom's eventual availability that he's been seen jogging on the side of practice, he's not expected to take part in training camp, blah, blah, blah.
So he's definitely not playing tomorrow against Seattle.
Doesn't sound like it, no. My best guess, Denzel Ward, Greg Newsome, Martin Emerson, Grant Delpit, Juan Thornhill, Rodney McLeod, Cam Mitchell, Miles Harden, DeAnthony Bell, Ronnie Hickman, Khalif Falassi, and Justin Hardy Sr.
I forgot about Justin Hardy as the other special. Well,
I'd take that.
Hardy would make the Pierre Strong move if you had to cut one of them later, a little offset as both special teams
Right.
aces as gunners. That's a lot of defensive backs, though. I don't know.
How
where
many
that-
did you just name?
He named 12.
Yeah.
You named 12?
Yeah,
1,
I
2,
don't.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 12.
See, my only issue with is if they did try to move off of like a DeAnthony Bell, I would be upset because unless he's hurt, y'all didn't play him in the preseason, so you didn't give him a chance to even get tape out there. So that would bother me.
He could play.
Yeah.
The little spurts we've
defensive
seen.
back is their position where they're most likely to
Deepest.
cut somebody that could play
Yeah.
more than any other position, I would think.
I don't know where the numbers are evening out to fit 12 defensive backs on the roster, though.
Yeah.
That's
He only had 5 wide receivers, which is very low,
one.
and
How many linebackers was
He
it?
had 5.
5 linebackers.
How many tight ends was it?
He had 3 on his list.
3, yeah. I don't know.
He said 8 to 10 linemen, depending on where the guy starts. So
Right.
maybe that's
And he said
one.
10 to 12,
Yeah.
so maybe it's 11. Who knows? But obviously, we know who the special teams guys are.
That 53, boy.
So there you go.
This stuff used to make me nervous. Boy, it used to keep me up at night.
I mean, there's some good players who are going to get cut.
Right.
The Browns roster, and
Goodness.
Andrew Berry has put together enough talent that there
Yeah.
are some guys who are going to get cut.
Who's besides the corners? Who's a good player that's going to get cut?
I mean, if one of the running backs, if it's
Yeah,
I
all
mean,
right. I'll
and
give you
instead-
that. There's some nice.
It just pivot. I
players,
mean, not
yeah.
like guys that you're gonna be.
But like
crushing.
guys that are rosterable players.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
quarterbacks.
You know.
So a couple of things to watch. Put a bow tie on
Mm.
this tonight. If David Bell, who's not playing, which means Michael Woods is gonna have a chance to
Yeah.
show something. Jermaine Ifedi at left tackle might be the most important thing we see in tomorrow
Yeah.
night's game. Not tonight, in tomorrow night's game.
Yeah.
We'll see Miles Harden and Khalif
Halasi.
I definitely think there's some guys in the deep, depth of the secondary that are playing for jobs. Ifedi, as you mentioned, he's, if he plays well, he's making the team. If he doesn't, he's probably cut. I think David Bell's gone. Michael Woods, I don't think is going to make the team either.
Well, we'll see Jamari Thrash. He's playing tonight. Or
Right.
tomorrow.
I
I
mean-
can't believe you got this in my head.
I'm so sorry. It's all my fault.
That's just embarrassing, you two.
It's
Jamari
embarrassing.
Thrash, someone else to watch.
Yeah.
And then the quarterback battle. We'll see DTR and Huntley duke it out for QB3.
We really call it a battle when it's for the third quarterback spot?
Don't throw that to Tyvus, who's fight for every spot. It was
Well,
a battle,
he's
right?
not quarterback.
Was about it. I done went into some final preseason games like we're gonna make you the starter, and if you do well,
Yeah.
you good. And I play well and still get cut.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Did you, when you were at this point in the season, were you like going through the roster, counting who was going to get in?
Yes. Yeah,
You're like,
it was.
I'm better than this guy.
It's evident. I
Yeah.
mean, it's kind of evident. But see, it's the difference between this preseason and when I played is that the fourth preseason game was just for like the people that's fighting for everything.
That's right.
That's when the starters all come out with sweatsuits
Right.
on, and you had to play defense and all the
Yeah.
special teams, and you was tired as heck.
And they would the cut to 75 was before the last game. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Right.
So it was even worse. It was even worse that you had to do literally everything.
Right.
And you knew the
and
20
and you
guys.
look to the sideline, we can't help you.
Yeah.
We ain't helping you.
Yeah. And of course, if you have any nagging injuries or anything, you're not going to tell anybody.
You got to play through it.
You got to play through.
That's what happened to me in Dallas. In Dallas, I strained my quad the second week of preseason.
Yeah.
And I told him, I was like, my quad is messed up. And the trainer was like, well, the only way it's going to get better is if you rest.
Yeah.
And he was like, with your situation, you really can't rest. I said,
Yeah,
you're right about that.
that's a crazy spot to be in.
So I went out there.
Yeah.
I played through the second. I could tell it was affecting me. Like I wasn't
Yeah.
as fast as I used to be. So the fourth preseason game, I go out there and I have been overcompensating so much off of this quad that I actually ended up pulling my hamstring, which was a blessing in disguise because if you get hurt, they can't release you until you're healthy. So what happened was,
Right.
man, this is a lesson. This was my fourth year in the NFL. And to get your pension, you got to play 3 years and you got to play 3 games of the next season. So I was on the next season part. Yeah. And I got hurt in the preseason, last preseason game. They was like, well, this is what we could do. We're going to cut you. We can put you back on IR. You can stay here in rehab and you'll get a game check until you're healthy, or we can give you 4 game checks. If we give you 4 game checks, I said, does that count like towards my credited years?
Yeah.
He said, well, you only need 3, but we're going to give you 4. I said, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Give me them 4
They didn't
checks.
have to do that?
Nah. I mean, they didn't. What they could have did was they could have said, we can let you just rehab it once you healthy. So if I got healthy in 2 weeks, you out of there.
Yeah, right.
I said 4? So you gonna guarantee me I'm gonna get the pension?
Yeah.
Give me that.
that was pretty
Give
cool.
me
That was
that. I'm
cool.
out.
That's really
So
cool.
I would say nothing negative about
And that was
Dallas.
Dallas, okay.
I'll say nothing negative about Dallas. They looked out for me to get my pension.
But you didn't rehab there.
No, I did. I actually did 1 week of rehab there, and then they offered me that after the first week, and then I was like, well, if y'all gonna give me that, then I'm gone. Because what it was after the first week of rehab, I felt like,
Yeah.
I was like, man, I think I'm gonna be good like in a week or 2.
And what year was that?
This was 2019.
So Zeke was still good at football then.
Yeah, Zeke was holding out. So I didn't see Zeke
Oh,
the
he was
entire
holding out.
preseason because he was holding out.
Yeah.
And as soon as I got hurt and I left, boom, he signed the deal. And I was like, God, this
He's
dude.
just waiting for time.
What are you,
This dude, he was out, and Amari Cooper was out. Like, he was dealing with some type of injury for the preseason, too.
All right, Anthony, what do you got?
Before we get into our next topic, guys, I want to remind all of you, when you're hiring for your small business and you want to find quality professionals that are right for the role, you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help you find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. LinkedIn isn't just a job board. LinkedIn helps you hire professionals you can't find anywhere else, even those who are actively searching for a new job, or not actively searching for a new job, but might be open for positions. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites, so if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong place. On LinkedIn, 86% of businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. You gotta hire professionals like a professional on LinkedIn.
All right, let's continue our conversation about the Browns. So obviously it's been kind of a doom and gloom week. We've been talking about injuries to Deshaun Watson, a concussion for Denzel Ward. We've talked about Greg Newsome being banged up.
Offensive line,
the left tackle situation. It's been a mess. As we head into the season, 16 days, the Browns will play their first regular season game. The NFL season starts in 13 days, right? Who's playing the Thursday night opener? I forgot. Chiefs?
It's the
Isn't the Raven? No.
I thought it was the Chiefs.
it's the Chiefs and Ravens, isn't it?
Yeah.
Might be.
I think that's it. Chiefs
I
and
will
Ravens.
double check that. But what do you feel? What about this team are you confident in, Tyvis, heading into the season?
I'm still confident. I'm confident in the D-line. I mean, that's still, to me, the strength of this team. I think that was why this team was so successful last year, because Myles Garrett and other guys contributed to bringing that pressure. And when you look at, this defensive line going to get other pieces like Mike Hall Jr., or going to get Quentin Jefferson, like you're getting pieces that's been successful in the NFL. You got Shelby, Mo Hurst being back healthy, all of those guys to me. And I feel like Za'Darius is going to play with a chip on his shoulder because he knows that he didn't perform the way he was supposed to perform. And I think he really wanted to get a bigger contract, but seeing that the market was probably dry, so I think that's why he re-signed with Cleveland. And he felt like he didn't live up to the potential that he had. So I'm expecting all of these guys, and not just him, that entire D-line kind of didn't show up that last go-around, that Houston game.
Yeah.
Outside of Alex Wright, I think he might have been the only one. So I think that D-line to me is and not just them, the defense, period, is the only thing to me that I'm like, all right, I know when it come down to it that these guys is going to perform, because it's such a bad taste in their mouth from how they performed against Houston that they are eager to get back out there and right that wrong. So to me, the confidence that I have is that defense is going to ball.
Mike?
Yeah, I was going to say the defensive line too, and I would go a step further, Ty. I'm actually confident this is the year that someone other than Myles Garrett has double-digit sacks for the Browns. I think you can make a case.
Well, I already predicted that with Alex Wright, so where you been?
I'm saying it could be Alex. I think it could be Za'Darius. I think the interior pass rush they added,
Yeah.
Quentin Jefferson and Mike Hall, on top of what we saw last year from Shelby Harris and Mo Hurst, is going to put offensive line and offensive coordinators in absolute hell trying to come up with a game plan to give the requisite attention to Myles Garrett without sacrificing and giving up bad matchups along the line to everyone else. But because Tyvis said the offensive line, I'm going to pivot to a little something different. I'm confident David Njoku has another level to his game that we haven't seen yet. And it got unlocked in the second half of last season with DTR and then with Joe Flacco. His targets, his catches, his yards, all that went up. But I think it's just more of David Njoku finally putting everything in his game together, and not a result of just getting an increased target share that put him on the ascension and in the top tier of tight ends, not just from a fantasy standpoint, from a legitimate production standpoint last year. As I look forward to 2024, if Deshaun's healthy, this offensive line we have question marks about. Where is he going to end up checking the ball down to a ton? A guy like David Njoku. So I don't think the last 6 games of last season was a fluke. I'm confident that the best of David Njoku is still to come.
Did you say you think he's a tier 1 tight end?
He was at the end of last season.
No, he was not.
All fantasy production-wise, yes, he was.
Well,
Wow.
Yes, he was.
you can't.
Boy, he was pretty good.
He was good, but he's not tier 1.
He was the number 2 target.
First of all,
Yeah.
you could argue that Travis Kelce is alone in tier 1.
I'm saying he was in the class of tight ends.
Sam Laporta was pretty darn good.
Travis Kelce, George Kittle, Sam Laporta, he's not in that class.
For the last 6 games of last season,
I
yes,
don't
he
get
was.
6 games doesn't mean anything.
Well, that's why I'm
And
projecting.
I don't disagree.
That's why I'm projected.
There's plenty of guys who are good over a 6-game stretch. It's David Njoku's been in the league like 6-7 years already.
And I didn't say his whole career's been
You know,
tier one. I
Sam
said those
Laporta
last
did it as
6
a
games.
rookie.
And I think Laporta's in that same conversation.
Well,
This is
no.
supposed to be Feel Good Friday, Bull. Let us feel good about David
We got to
Njoku.
keep it real. I mean, David Njoku has been a average tight end until the end of last year, where he played a lot better than that. I don't know. I think he could play that well for a full season. I still don't think he's in. I think he's in. Would be in tier 2. He's never even been a tier 2 tight end in his career. He's been a tier 3.
The last 6 games of last season.
Okay, that's fine.
And my projection is, what do I feel good about? I feel confident
Yeah.
that was not a fluke, that can continue into
All right,
2024.
I'm not as confident.
This is his.
Oh, it was my second one, because I was going to go with the defensive line.
I mean, it's
but-
obviously the defense. I'll throw out the special teams in terms of the punter and kicker. I think the Browns, that combo of punter and kicker, the Browns are as strong as any team in the league. Now, you know, with kickers, you kind of never know from year to year. They can be unpredictable. But Hopkins was so good last year that I have a lot of faith in him going into the season. And Bjorquez is one of the best punters in the league. So you got to feel good about where you are at punter and kicker. Unfortunately, none of us said quarterback, even you, Tyvus. And you're more optimistic about Deshaun than certainly Mike and I are.
Correct. Because I still got to see it.
Yeah.
But I thought I seen enough of him last year. And the fact that I do think he's going to have a good season. I really do. Because like I said, I just kind of know where he was mentally. Like, not that I know him, but I've seen it before. I've seen what he done before. Like the second half of that Baltimore game, to him, he probably thought, this is it. I'm back. Like, I finally am back. I can put a team on my back. I could carry him to a victory in Baltimore. I can win the big games. I still got it. And then, boom, you go down with an injury. So, to him, he sat there and he sat back and he watched Joe Flacco just kind of take over Cleveland. And he was thinking to himself, that should be me. Like, I was there. I had Cleveland right here. Everybody was cheering my praises after that Baltimore game, and somebody just came and snatched it from him. And he's probably thinking, I've done it one time, and I know it's still there. I can get back to that.
Man,
and I think
living.
to me, I feel like mentally he's so locked in on because he needed to see it again. He probably doubted himself too. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna ever be that guy again. And once he seen that moment, he probably was like, I definitely got this. So I think to him, he wanted to get back out there and really show people, like, I'm back, I'm that dude. So that's, to me personally, what I feel is going to happen. I know y'all might not see it that way, but I'm telling you, that's what I personally think when I see him.
You got him living off 120 yards and a touchdown. I don't know. I mean, I got to see a lot more than he wasn't like he played like a superstar in that second half.
He did what did he go, 100% in the second half?
No,
Yeah, 14 for 14.
the
one
he had an
pass
incompletion, but it was a penalty. But he only threw for 120 yards. Didn't he throw a pick too? Wasn't it a touchdown? And
Yeah, his first half was not
First
that
half, he
good.
had a pick six.
I mean,
That might have been the first
First half was
first
horrible.
play.
First play
Yeah.
Kyle Hamilton had that off the right side of the
Yeah.
line.
All right, let's switch it up. Let's talk some baseball, even though the Guardians suck right now. Go ahead, Anthony. What do you got?
Yeah, guys, you've heard us talk a lot about FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Well, we have something a little bit different for you now. Through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial on NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then, with YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel at any time. Just visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to download America's #1 sportsbook.
So the Guardians.
Boy, you just negative today.
I just what?
You negative today.
It's hard to feel positive about the Guardians right now.
What do you want me to do?
He said, let's talk about the Guardians, even though they suck right now.
I mean, they do. I'm just telling it like it is.
It was the Yankees.
They got one hit yesterday.
I mean,
Yeah, it's been going on for a while.
they have in their road trip, in their 6-game road trip. Did you see the tweet from Zach?
Yeah, I saw it.
I put in the group chat.
What is
All
it,
right.
50 innings with nothing? Without
Well,
a hit?
here's what it is. All right, they played 50 innings on the road trip. They played 57 innings on the road trip. They scored 0 runs in 50 of the 57 innings, and they scored 1 run or less in 55 of the 57 innings. The one inning with the 6 runs was the extra inning against the Yankees, that 11th or 12th, whatever the hell it was.
12th inning.
Where they scored 6 runs, a bunch of walks and dinks and dunks. The offense is, right now, a total disaster. Nobody's hitting. Stephen Kwan, people were ridiculously, Tyvus, talking about him hitting 400. I'm not even sure he's going to hit 300.
He's down to 310.
His batting average has dropped 80 points since the high mark. 80 points. He can't hit right now. Fry stinks right now. Naylor's been terrible. Ramirez has been mediocre. I'm sick of Schneeman. I'm sick of Freeman. Get rid of all the Emans. All the Emans, get them the hell out of here. I don't want to see Brian Rocchio or Rocchio. I don't want any of them here either. The Guardians front office and ownership is not committed to winning. It's that simple. It's sad. I love this team. I had so much fun watching them earlier in the season. And as much as I'm killing them now, I do not think the season's over. But I'm really concerned for the first time this year that they may blow the division, although they have a major advantage in terms of the schedule. They've gotten their final 35 games, I believe 23 of the 35 are at home, or 22, something like that.
It's 7 of the last 11 series. I'm not sure what the exact number
Yeah, they
is,
have.
but
So they have a 10-game homestand now. Then they have a 10-game road trip, and then their last 15 games are all at home, except for one series against the Cardinals. They only have 4 road series left: the White Sox, the Cardinals, the Dodgers, and I forgot the other one.
Kansas City.
And Kansas City. That's it. So they've been much better at home, and you got Texas coming in. Texas is playing bad baseball. Then Kansas City, who obviously that'll be a challenge. Kansas City's playing really well. They're only 2 games back of the Guardians, same as the Twins. Then you have Pittsburgh. They stink, but they got some good pitchers. And I don't know if they're going to face Skeens. You might have to face their other good young stud. What's his name? Jared Jones. He's been hurt. I can't think of his first name. I think it's Jared Jones. But he's rehabbing, so he's about to come back. And so you never know with the Pirates if you're facing those 2 pitchers, even though they're not very good. They just stink right now, and it's painfully obvious. I hate to say it, because overall I think the front office, I've given them a credit 99% of the time. It's time they deserve some criticism. The team is not committed to winning. That winning is not the first priority with the Guardians. Nobody can convince me otherwise. The payroll sucks, and they have done a terrible job as an organization developing hitters. Go back and look. I did this morning with Zach. Okay, I went back and looked at the Guardians' top 30 prospects from 3 years ago. Top 30, just the hitters. Okay, there's about 20 hitters on that list, or I don't know, 17 hitters. All of them, the best of those 17 has been John Kenzie Noel, who's a completely flawed player. And feels like the next in the line of Franmil Reyes and Oscar Gonzalez. The rest of the top, Tyler Freeman was number 1. What's happened to him? Gabriel Arias, number 4. What's happened to him? Some of the guys, there were a couple of guys on there I didn't even know because they've been cut by the Guardians since. They have done an absolutely dreadful job of developing hitters. That this will be the 10th straight year, 10, that they're not going to have a single outfielder hit 20 home runs. I don't know if that's ever happened in modern baseball history. I can't imagine there's another team that in the last 50 years has gone 10 years without an outfielder hitting a home run, hitting 20 home runs. That is crazy.
So John Kenzie ain't going to get
No, you're going to get 20.
Are you going to get 11 more?
So in 35 games, no chance.
I'm gonna lose,
or almost no chance.
I'm going to lose my bold prediction. That's what you telling me.
For home runs, they're at 14 right now.
No, I said my second one.
What was your second?
That
he'll
John
get 20?
He'll get 20.
I doubt it. I mean, it's possible. But right now, if you're a pitcher and you're facing John Kenzie Noel, why would you ever throw the ball in the strike zone? He chases everything. He swings at pitches. He looks like those same guys or Javi Baez. And unless that part of his game improves, which is unlikely to happen in the next 5 weeks, that's something he's got to work on in the offseason. It didn't improve with Franmil. He's out of baseball. It didn't improve with Oscar Gonzalez. He's languishing in the minors with, I think, the Yankees now. And if it doesn't happen with him, he's going to go down the same road. You can't. He's got prodigious power. And if you make a mistake to him, he's going to hit a home run more than most guys they have. But let's face it, the reality is that what we thought in the beginning of the year, that they only really had 2 power hitters, is true.
Yep.
Their third leading home run hitter is Stephen Kwan with what?
13?
He ain't getting a 20. He's not hitting another 7 home runs. Lane Thomas has been a freaking disaster.
Yeah.
I mean, the Guardians, I mean, I can't imagine what the
well, those numbers, yeah.
Yeah, look at those numbers. He hasn't hit a home run in over 2 months, including his time with the Guardians. If you look, they tweeted out today. Look at this tweet by the Guardians today.
The happy birthday tweet?
The happy birthday to now, and look at this tweet. Okay, look at this. Can we get a close up on that or no?
I'll get it in the system.
Okay. The Lane Train turns 29. Like, why would you do that? Don't give him a nickname, the Lane Train. Okay, when you're batting 105 or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah. Well, these are some numbers.
What I want to know? Can I read you a few responses?
Sure, but they're not going to be good.
Real quick, you don't think anything can be good?
No. Read them. But
Ed DeRosa, I have to appreciate the bravery in posting this. Drake, heard there are great birthday dinner spots in Columbus. Let's see. Duke, the Lane Train needs to learn how to hit a baseball. Oh, my God.
Did nobody call him the lame train?
That was the first
Not
thing that
yet.
came to my head.
Oh, okay.
Tim, to celebrate, he will strike out for the 29th time tonight since being acquired.
I think he's already surpassed that total.
They gotta cut it out.
There are some things I could say, but I won't. I'll grit my teeth while saying happy birthday. He's terrible. Acts like he doesn't even want to be on the team.
He gonna hit a home run tonight for his birthday.
If somebody said, same as his batting average, 029.
Well, here's some numbers.
Yeah.
I was just trying to look into this because I don't think the sky is completely falling. There's serious cause for concern.
I don't.
There's
As much as I just
legitimate
killed
cause
him, I don't
for
think
fun.
the season's over. No.
So I want to just preface all of that
Okay.
with this.
By the way, Gavin Williams has sucked his last two starts. Too.
We can talk about that. In the series, the Yankees have left 30 runners on base.
Yeah.
In that
Well, they
one
left
series-
over 20 in the first game.
It was 20 the first game,
Yeah,
3 in
which is
the
only
second.
like the fifth time that's
Ever
happened in
happened.
franchise
The Yankees,
history.
despite only giving up one hit yesterday, Garrett Cole walked like 5-6 batters.
Yeah.
They had
But the
opportunities.
Guardians haven't had a clutch hit in about 6 weeks.
That's what I'm getting at. These are numbers since the All-Star break.
Yeah.
Since the All-Star break. Jose is hitting 280 with 9 homers, 24 RBIs with an 842 OPS. That's been solid. It's dropped off significantly in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But I'm going to just paint the big picture. Jose,
Yeah.
since the All-Star break, has been overall
Yeah.
about Jose. Stephen Kwan since the All-Star break. 213 with a 617 OPS.
Hideous.
Minimal power.
my
Josh
fault.
Naylor since the All-Star break. 217, 2 homers, a 683 OPS.
Oh, that's even worse than I thought.
David Fry since the All-Star break. He's hitting 229 with a 694 OPS.
Awful.
Jimenez since the All-Star break. He's hitting 259, up from his season average. His OPS, 636.
Hideous.
Bo Naylor since the All-Star break. 193, 602 OPS.
Another guy who was on the Guardians top prospect
Nice.
list. He's been a total bust this year.
Daniel Schneemann since the All-Star break.
Oh.
185, 503 OPS.
See, what I don't understand is
Real quick, last stat.
Yeah.
The only team since the All-Star break
Yeah.
with a worse OPS than the Guardians. Which
is the White Sox.
correct.
Yeah.
They have the second lowest OPS since the All-Star break. And it's really hard to win baseball
You
games.
can't. When you
with
don't
an
get
OPS
on
that low.
base and you don't slug.
Yeah.
So, what I don't understand particularly about, why are you still playing Daniel Schneemann's not even a top prospect.
No.
I got supposedly top prospects in Kyle Manzardo, George Valera.
They should be up, right now.
What are we doing here? Those guys can at least, they're lefties. Let them hit against righties. What are we doing with Daniel Schneemann? Daniel Schneemann, I mean, it's absurd that this guy is still playing every day.
I would call it Valera for Schneemann, Manzardo for Brennan, and I bring back Angel Martinez for Tyler Freeman. Just change up something. You have to do something.
Yeah.
Literally something to ingest a new form of energy. That was your guy, Tyvus, Angel Martinez. Then he got sent down.
They should have never sent him down to begin with.
But I can't.
I would
can't come up with a good
send
reason.
Schneemann, Freeman, and Rocchio the hell out of here. I'm sick of all of them. I don't want to hear about defense. I don't want to hear about. They play great defense. What good is it doing them right now? They can't hit. They look like the 23 Guardians right now. That's what they look like. They're getting nothing. Jose's been mediocre since the break. Everybody else has been absolute shit.
Well, the good news is that they're coming back home.
That's a big deal. They're much better at
They
home.
hit a lot of home runs at home, so I'm expecting to go up against the Rangers, and I'm expecting that they bring some light into it. Oh, listen, all it takes is one good game to spark this thing. Now,
I thought that was going to be the 12th
I
inning.
thought so too, but you need to put a whole game together. I think that this batting order, I don't know how they lost the confidence that they've had. They've been so aggressive and been so good all throughout this season, probably up to the All-Star break, and then July happened and these last couple of weeks happened. But the end of the story is that they've had success this year, and they got to find a way to find it. And that starts with being at home. You know, it's something about being at your home crowd and having your fans cheering you on that just shocks energy through their body, and now people starting to hit home runs. So I think it starts tonight. Lane Thomas is going to hit his first home run as a Guardian. And that right there, once that happens, it's on. It's on. Bull.
Wait,
when it happened tonight.
Who's pitching for Texas tonight?
I don't know.
I don't
Is it a
know.
native Aldi?
That's actually a good
So I don't
question.
even know that Lane Thomas is going to play
Let me
because
see.
he hasn't been playing against righties lately.
Let me see.
Yeah, it's Evaldi.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think and Evaldi's a good righty. I don't know if Lane Thomas is
Lane
even going to
Thomas
play.
probably ain't playing tonight.
Well, okay.
But you do have Tanner Bybee on the mound.
John
which is
Kinsey
big.
Noel is going to hit this home run, and he's going to start this thing off.
Both.
Nothing I want more. I want the Guardians to win the World Series. I thought they had a chance. I still think if they can right the ship, I give them a chance. But they're just playing so. They went from. I knew the play was going to tail off some, but offensively, they've gone from like a 10 to a 0.
It's dive bomb.
I mean, it's
Dive
crazy. And the thing is, the strength of this team is their bullpen. But if you can't score at all, then the bullpen's useless.
Yeah.
The only good thing about them sucking lately offensively is that at least the bullpen's gotten some rest.
Tonight with Tanner Bybee on the mound.
Yeah.
Is a perfect opportunity for Tanner Bybee to establish himself as the true legitimate ace of this staff. When you're going through rough stretches, right? That's when you need that guy to put on the mound and kind of right the ship, stop the skid, and say, all right, either this offense can only score one run, Texas ain't scoring. And this is an opportunity for
He's
Tanner
gotta pitch a
Bybee
great game.
to come up and pitch to the caliber the Guardians need him to and prove he can do it. Not against the Rangers team that's particularly great this season. I know they're the reigning World Series champs, but that would carry over into a playoff series when you're facing the best of the best pitchers in the game one.
Gavin Williams has got to get right. You got Cobb hurt now.
What did you think of Gavin last night or yesterday?
I thought he pitched lousy.
I thought it was very mediocre.
Yeah, I've been 2 starts ago. I was like, okay, he's finally starting to turn around. Now 2 straight bad starts.
I was hurt. I really was. I was hurt.
You were so hurt from the foot injury?
No. I mean, when he was pitching, you thought he had one. I really thought that this was going to be the turn. I was like, okay, he going up against Garrett Cole. He about to go out there and show everybody that the future is here. And, it did not go the way I planned on it to go. It really didn't.
Now, remember, the only person with a chance – we did bold predictions for the Guardian season when the season started. Tyvus is the only one who has a chance to be right.
Yours was so wrong.
Mine was terrible. But, they're bold. When you make a bold prediction, you're usually going to be wrong, right?
You're talking about getting rid of the guy. he was supposed to be an all-star, and now you want to get rid of him.
Tyvus thought he had it in the bag, and I am rooting for him. But it's definitely not in the bag now. The Guardians have to finish 15th or better. Right now, they're 14th. I'm still looking at home runs per game because not everybody's played the exact same amount against. But so they're averaging. They're 14th in home runs per game. Seattle's 15th. Kansas City's 16th.
Who's 13th?
13th is San Diego. So let's look at the 2 teams behind them because if they fall behind both of those teams, that's when they'll lose the top 15. So Cleveland, Seattle, and Kansas City. Now Seattle's playing terribly.
They just fired
They
their
fired their manager. Interesting story about the new manager of the Mariners, who's the tentative manager here. His name is Dan Wilson. He was a catcher for the Mariners a number of years ago. I want to say, when Griffey and Ichiro were still there. I think he was at the end of his career then. But when he first retired, he coached a Little League team that made it to the Little League World Series. He made it to the Final Four of the Little League World Series. And he will, I don't know if he'd be the only coach ever that coached in the Little League World Series. But next year, the Mariners are playing in the Little League game. Did you guys watch that, Yankees-Tigers, the Little League game? That was so cool. The players interacting with the kids. And I like to watch the Little League World Series. My team, when I was a kid, we were 1 win away from going to it. Well, the Babe Ruth World Series, which is a year older. We were 1 win away from the national tournament. And so I like to watch
Didn't
it.
you say you messed that up when you was a kid?
I didn't mess it up. I got kicked out of the game for charging the mound. We lost our...
I don't know this story. I never heard it.
I actually, by the way, I got to look for this real quick.
Well,
Why don't you do a read, and then I'll do this. I'll do it after, and then I'll tell the story. Go ahead.
Guys, while we wait for Bull's story here, if you're trying to go to the Guardians games as this home stretch starts, you can save up to 60% off by buying all your tickets last minute. Sports, concerts, comedy, theater. Game Time is the place to go. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. You can get a panoramic view of your seat so you know exactly where you're going to sit. And they have a low price guarantee. Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference if you find a lower price ticket. All you have to do is download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create your account and redeem code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed.
So I'm looking for the proof. So I've never claimed to be a great athlete, even when I was in the better shape of my life in my late teens, early 20s. But I was a very good kid baseball player, and had I not been an idiot in high school, I probably could have played D3 baseball. I was good enough to play D3 baseball, not beyond that, but I could have played D3 baseball. But I effed up my baseball career in high school with some bad decisions that kids make sometimes, right?
It's going to be on full display Sunday, correct?
Oh, yeah, well, I weigh 175 pounds more. I'll try my best.
We on teams. I need something out of you.
I'm going to try my best. I'll play a good first base. I can still play a good first base. But, as you see, so these are newspaper articles, a proof, right? You'll see here that it's the Daily News, which is a newspaper in New York, right? And where's the article? Here it is. I got it on one of these sheets. Okay, here's the one where it says, read this paragraph, Mike. It's not me making it up. Read that paragraph from the Daily News, the New York Daily News. That bottom paragraph.
Adding to the Kings Bay attack were Chris Trilley with 2 hits and an RBI, and Mitch Margulis and Devin Lasker each with a single. The winners 4-0 in the playoffs had their top hitter, Adam Gerstenhaber, walked 4 times.
Top hitter, baby. Now
you got walked 4 times?
I thought it was going to be an article about you charging the mound.
No.
That's what I thought, too.
Yeah, I've seen that before. Give me the mound.
Oh, okay. So I actually wasn't the top hitter. Stanley Jeter was our best hitter. I was just the hottest hitter in the playoffs.
Stanley was black, right?
He was, yes. How'd you know that?
Because you told us.
He told us this part of the story. I just never heard about you.
We were like a United Nations team. We had black guys, Puerto Rican guys, Chinese guy, Irish guys, Italian guys, Jewish guys. We were united. The team we played for the Brooklyn Championship, Garrettson Beach, every kid on their team was Irish. You didn't live in Garrettson Beach unless you were Irish, unless you wanted to die. And we had to play at their field. They had won like 12 years in a row. They had won Brooklyn Championship 12 years in a row, something like that. We played at their field. The field was completely surrounded. All right. We thought we were going to get killed and jumped by the entire neighborhood after the game, and I hit the game-winning homer. It wasn't a walk-off, but I hit a game-winning homer to dead center field, put us up 6-4, and then in the bottom of the sixth, we held on and won. But so we went to the New York State tournament. We won a couple more games. We played for the New York State Championship against the Long Island champs, 1984, Babe Ruth League. We win this game. We go to the national tournament I think the Babe Ruth tournament was in I want to say it was in Maryland or something, like the Little League in Pennsylvania. And so we're playing this team, and we thought nobody could beat us. Because once we beat Garrettson Beach, because they were a legend in New York, Garrettson Beach. Yeah. Nobody beat them. Once we beat them, we thought nobody could beat us. And we go into this game. We felt like we got cheated by the umps. We were playing in Long Island. A kid on my team, I think it was that Chris Trilley who you mentioned, if I remember correctly, hit a 3-run homer that should have given us the lead. The umpire said he didn't step on home plate. It was a 3-run homer out of the fence, over the fence. First of all, even if he didn't step on the plate, which he did, and we felt like the umpire screwed us. And then I was up next. Their pitcher hit me with a pitch. I went out to the mound like a lunatic. I don't know what I was thinking, but we had lost our composure after that. We got so pissed. We lost our composure. I thought he threw at me on purpose because the kid before me just hit a home run. I went out to the mound. I tackled him. I don't know. I was just
Wait,
crazy.
when he hit the home run, what was the score?
I think we would have been up a run, and instead we were tied, or maybe we would have been tied and we're still down a run. I mean, it's 30 years ago. Okay. It's hard to remember every last detail.
I'm just trying to remember.
But I charged him out after I knew, and I got booed, by the other teams. It was crazy. My mother was so pissed. But it was really stupid. But I was 13 years old, you know.
And
it
that
was
was
dumb,
it.
and I had been really hot, so taking my bat out of the lineup at the time at 13 years old was bad. And then we fell apart after that, and we lost.
That's sad.
It was 7-5 or 6-4, whatever.
Was it worth it?
No, I shouldn't have charged him out. Although I did have a good. It was probably the best tackle of my life. It probably was, but it was not worth it because I feel like he could have come back.
See, my mother would have said, if you gonna do this, you better you better tackle him. You
Get your money's worth,
better beat the heck out of him, something. Like if you gonna do this, you do it all the way. That's the best advice my mother ever given me. If you gonna do something, do it all the way.
Now, if I tried to do that, I'd pull a hamstring running to the mound. All right, Anthony, hit us with another read before we move on.
Yeah, guys, when you're hiring for your small business and you want to find quality professionals that are right for the role, you got to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help you find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. LinkedIn isn't just a job board. LinkedIn helps you hire professionals you can't find anywhere else, even those who aren't actively searching for a new job, who might be open to the perfect role. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites. So you're not looking on LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong place. On LinkedIn, 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours, so you got to hire professionals like a professional over on LinkedIn. You can post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL. That's linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL to post your job for free. Terms and conditions do apply.
I'm showing Tyvis and Mike pictures from me in college, which is the only time in my life I was really drinking.
Looked a lot different. Let's just put it that way.
I looked a lot different?
Yeah.
Well, this picture, I could, I don't know how much you can get a close-up on it, but here's when I dyed my hair blonde briefly. It was terrible. See that? There you go. That's me.
Look at Bull.
I was like 28, 29 right there.
You got to play with your
That was the girl who cut my hair. The only reason I dyed it blonde is because she said she said to me that she thought I'd look good with blonde hair, and I wanted to hook up with her, and it didn't work. I didn't hook up with her.
Tough look.
And I got the blonde hair for nothing. I got no action from it. Very disappointing. All right, what are we getting into? The Cavs. Let's get into the Cavs here, guys.
Spent a few minutes on the Cavs.
So we haven't talked much about the Cavs lately. And when you look at the Eastern Conference, if you were a coach or a general manager, and you were taking which of the teams in the East, where would you rank the Cavs in terms of the East as to where you'd want to take them? If this is fantasy, basketball, and you get to own one team for the next 5 years, whatever, where would you rank the Cavs? Would you take them before the Knicks? Would you take them before the Heat? Would you take them before the Sixers? What do you think?
Can I start on this one?
Go
and then I want to let you guys start.
You are a basketball expert.
Yeah.
Well, no, but I kind of looked at this in a big picture way. Boston's number one. I don't think there's any argument in this. Boston's number one. Tatum, Brown, still in the primes of their career. They have their entire championship roster coming back.
Yeah.
Great coach, great general manager. They're in one. I don't think there's any argument.
This is where you get interesting.
And then I think you can make a case for a bunch of different teams.
Yeah.
You look at Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they're two. I'm just going to make real quick the case.
Yeah.
You have Doc. Giannis is getting a little older.
Hey.
How will his body
old is
hold
he?
up? Believe he's 29 or 30
But wouldn't you still rather have him over any of the other best players on the other teams?
right now, but it's a 5-year project. Dame Lillard's not around in 5 years.
No.
So neither is Chris Middleton or Brooke Lopez.
Okay.
So you have kind of Giannis
Chris
and Doc
Middleton,
Rivers.
though?
Yeah.
Is he
And I
really?
think he's 31.
Well, what
And
are
he's
the
still on
Sixers
injuries.
going to have in 5 years?
Tyrese Maxey. So I actually have those two below the Cavs because I just don't love the infrastructure outside of their top players.
Yeah, but isn't the most important player the superstar?
But if we're going off a 5-year window
I just
here,
think-
do you trust Embiid to be healthy for 5 years?
But Giannis, not Philly. Fine, I'm with you on Philly. But Giannis is so good
Fair.
that I feel like, well, if those guys are all gone, they're going to, and maybe they'll get it wrong who they replace him with.
Giannis has played 0 postseason games the last 2 years. His body's broken down. I'm not saying it's.
All right,
listen,
that's
I
fair.
love Giannis. I'm not saying he's. I'm just. I think it's
Donovan
valid
Mitchell
to
got
at least
hurt
ask
this year in
concerns.
the postseason.
So I would have them below. It came down to the Knicks or Cavs for 2 to me.
Yeah.
And when you look at them, Mitchell and Brunson are the exact same age. They're literally born 2 weeks apart. They're both 27. I like Mitchell a little better than Brunson. Brunson's played better head-to-head against Mitchell the last 2 years.
And Brunson's played better in the playoffs.
He's had more postseason
Yeah.
success in general. I think it's a general wash, though. If you wanted
Okay.
to tell me you were Team Brunson,
Yeah.
I'd push back a little bit.
They the
but
same.
I prefer Mitchell. I'm not going to destroy anyone who says
They
Brunson.
have better
They have
other
better-
You look at
players.
the next two guys.
Yeah.
For the Cavs, it's DG and Mobley. For the Knicks, it's Bridges and Anunoby. I think the highest ceiling out of any of those four players is Mobley. If they were to reach their full potential, Mobley is the highest ceiling.
Sick of hearing about his ceiling.
And DG has the lowest.
Yeah.
So you have 1 and 4 versus 2 and 3. The Cavs have a ton of unknowns. What is Atkinson going to do? Tibbs clearly has the coaching advantage in this scenario. What is Atkinson going to do? Can he play the two bigs together? Can Mobley reach that ceiling that we think he has? Can DG regain his form? Can Donovan lead a team by himself, or not by himself, but as the main guy for the playoff run? And then I thought, this is a 5-year project, right? This is a 5-year window. Who plays their starters more minutes during the regular season than anyone else in the history of the NBA?
The Knicks.
Tom Thibodeau. And guys like Mitchell Robinson and OG Anunoby have legitimate injury histories.
But so do
And
all the
Brunson,
Cavs players.
Not to the extent of OG Anunoby's played over 60 games
I
once.
don't know, Mike. I think
So
you're living
actually,
in
you
La
know
La
what?
Land right now.
I actually took the Cavs at number 2 by the slightest of margins because I don't trust over a 5-year window the other pieces of the Knicks to withstand the Thibodeau abuse.
Mike is generally very level-headed, but when it comes to the Cavs, I feel like you're a little like Earl when it comes to the Deshaun Watson right now.
Let me ask you, what exactly are the question?
Which
Yeah.
team in the East would you rather most want to be for the next 5 years?
I don't even care about years 4 or 5 because the teams are going to be so different. To me, in my mind,
Well,
I'm only
if
thinking
it's
about
a 2-year thing, I'm taking the Knicks.
Right,
But I'm
but-
saying 5 years.
Yeah,
we're
but you
looking
don't
big
know what the
picture.
team's going to be.
Well, I'm just answering the question.
Which team
I'm
would
answering
I
the question.
I would have the Cavs 4th behind the Celtics, the Knicks, and the Bucks.
Celtics is number 1, right? No one would
Yeah,
argue.
no doubt.
Celtics would argue.
Which team would I want to be for the next 5
If you were
years?
buying stock in for the
The,
next
the
5
Knicks
years.
also, something that one of the things you ignored.
See, the thing about the Cavs is,
Go ahead.
so the Celtics and the Bucks have won championships. So they have that on their roster where it's like they've done it, so you know they can do it again. And their rosters look very good. Even if it's not for 5 years, maybe for the next 2 or 3 years. They still, in that window,
I
the
changed my
Celtics and Bucks, one of those two should win a ring in the next two or 3
If
years.
the question is 2 or 3, I'm changing my answer.
I'm just saying.
I don't
With
think
the-
you could give all 5 years equal weight when years 4 and 5, the teams, you don't know what they're going to be.
Well, from the Cavs, you hope that's Mobley at his peak and Darius. The
Yeah,
Cavs
but
core is
what
all
if his
younger.
peak is already there?
Well, that's a
Yeah.
speculation question. That's why for the next
2
5 years
things you
we're projecting.
ignored in the Knicks comparison. 1, Thibodeau's a proven excellent coach.
Yes.
2, the Knicks players 4 through 8 are way better than the Cavs, aren't they?
4, I don't know, but 5 through 8 for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like they got all these like
Five, for sure.
flexible wing players, and the Cavs don't have any of those guys.
Yeah.
So
I think I would put the Cavs probably 4th as well.
You put it behind Milwaukee too.
Yeah.
and the Knicks.
Yeah, you're
what's wrong
the
with
Giannis
you?
guy.
What about Indiana? What about Orlando?
I just watched him do it with nobody. Why
I
would
thought
he
about
not?
Orlando.
It doesn't matter who was on
Because
this
he
team.
might have nobody again.
He did it before.
They had Drew Holiday.
Yeah, you're right. But
And
yeah.
Chris Middleton 3 years ago. And Brooke Lopez 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Which are his running mates now, minus
All right,
Drew
well,
Holiday.
what have they done this offseason? Milwaukee made any upgrades?
They got Gary Trent Jr. Bunch of Malik. No, they didn't get Malik. They lost Malik Beasley. Bunch of guys on the absolute fringe. Torian Prince.
What are you talking about? The Bucks?
Bucks, yeah. Gary Trent Jr., Torian Prince.
Where are you on the Magic in 5?
I like the Magic. I just don't think any of their guys can shoot.
They got the Silver dude who you like.
Yeah, but I don't think he's like a dead eye. You're running the screens off him. He's more a connector.
He gonna have
I
to
like
be
their,
for them.
I just think when I was looking at this, and once again, I'm splitting hairs between the Knicks and the Cavs. Like, to me, that really is pick your poison. If it was 2-3 years, I'd take the Knicks. 5 years, I'd take the Cavs. Milwaukee more than anything. Outside of Giannis in 5 years, like that roster is starting from scratch.
But what if they get it right? What if they get it wrong? Okay, yeah. They still have
Giannis is better
the
than
floor
yes.
is there because they still
Yes.
have Giannis. But now, what if he completely falls apart physically? Yeah, you're right. That's fair. All right, Anthony. Time for super chats after one last read.
No, I actually don't have another read, but we do
Oh,
have
okay.
one super chat
Yeah.
from Bill Rodewald. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. CBS Sports has had an article in the last couple of days about strong camp battles on position groups in the NFL, including the offensive line. Any thoughts?
Wow, I didn't see it, so I don't know.
For the Browns?
I thought
I'm
he was
not
going to
sure
point out
what
something
article he's referring
specifically.
to.
He's saying that the Browns got a strong offensive line or got a strong battle at the offensive line.
I mean,
Well, I mean, it's a couple of position battles in the offensive line. They can only keep so many of these backups. Afedi, Adeniji,
does
Hudson.
it really matter between all those guys? Like, do we care that much about who the 8th offensive lineman is?
It did last year.
No, I'm just saying, like, once you get to the 8th offensive lineman, you could put their names in a hat and pick them out of a hat. 'Cause
Do you
none of them are
think
any
that?
good.
Do you think when you look at the tackle, let's say Fetty's gonna go out there and have a good game. I got to get this off quick.
Nice guy?
If
Got 2
Fetty
minutes.
completely falls on his face,
Yeah.
do you think that the Browns' best option is to cut all of them and pick somebody up on the waiver?
Probably. Yeah. I mean, I thought they should have gone and signed one of those veterans that's been out there.
But see, when you do that, you it's certain teams that you can pick from. Like you gotta pick a team that's running an offense similar to what you got.
No, I was saying one of the veteran
Free agents
that's-
like Bakhtiari, Charles
One of these
Lemon.
older
they
guys
should have
coming off
been. If
injury
that
or
was the case,
whatever.
they should have been.
But I
together.
get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes, they need, if they're going to pick up an offensive lineman, it's got to be a guy who's been playing.
Yeah, that's in shape. Yeah.
Because if you're going to, especially if you have to play that guy early, you can't have him learning a new system when he first gets here. I mean, that's going to take some time.
After talking to our guy Darren, the Donovan Smith thing makes a ton of sense, and I'm frankly.
But if they were going to
surprised.
do that, they would have done it already.
and that's why I'm surprised. Isn't the right word, but
Yeah.
I'm not surprised they haven't made the call at this point.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised that he's still sitting out there, and maybe it simply is a waiting till I'm going to do the Joe Flacco, wait till half the season, see where a team
Right.
in a position to compete for another championship needs a tackle. I could slide right in and play, but he was a starting tackle on a Super Bowl team last year.
Yeah.
And they had a younger, cheaper option come and take his spot. It wasn't like he played so bad they decided to move on. They just
Right.
financial reasons and future progression of players.
Let's face
So-
it. If he were that good, they would have kept him. I mean,
Fair, but it's not like he was a complete train wreck. at
No,
left
he wasn't a
tackle.
train
Yeah.
wreck, but obviously they thought there wasn't enough of a downgrade to not go with the younger guy. You're always going to choose a less expensive guy if it's close.
But you still
not if
shoulda-
there's a big gap.
But they
between the
still
two.
should have kept him on the roster. If that younger guy goes down,
Yeah, they obviously
maybe that's
didn't
what
think
he
it was a priority.
maybe that's what he waiting on.
Yeah.
If
They
he
just paid their
starting
center.
slot.
Yeah.
They just paid their center this morning, the
70
largest contract
yeah.
in the history of
What
football.
was it,
for a center.
74 million or
It was
47 million?
72,
something like that.
So
Yeah.
I don't know what the guarantee was.
Yeah.
And the Bengals should just. I mean, I don't know why they haven't signed Jamar Chase. I know he's got 2 years left on his
But
contract.
y'all should trade us Trent Brown.
No, they need Trent Brown.
I thought they got a they
rookie- I thought
drafted
the rookie
one.
was starting.
Yeah.
No, I think Trent Brown's going to start. The rookie's banged up a little bit. They always draft these fat kids.
No,
They
Mims,
drafted
isn't
that
fat.
Jackson Carmen.
No, Mims is a
Yeah,
freak of
Mims.
nature.
I don't know. The Bengals,
even know who that is.
drafting offensive
Georgia.
linemen are like the Browns drafting wide receivers. They always seem to get it wrong. We'll see. We'll see you on Channel 3 in just a couple of minutes. WKYC, the ultimate Cleveland sports show.